So you're a big anime fan, and you hear a game like One Piece Odyssey is set to release, and you're not sure if you want to buy it or not because usually the anime games could be not always bad, but they're not always the greatest, especially if you're not like totally into that particular anime that the game is about. But me personally, I'm a huge One Piece fan. I was actually very excited for this game. I was excited for this game for the minute that they announced it. I've played anime games that are pretty good. I love, and then there are anime games that I played that were very bad. In today's video, I just kind of wanted to showcase things you can do. I wanted to showcase maybe a little bit of the world. I wanted to showcase the battling system and what it looks like. So that way, if you are interested in buying this game, you can kind of get just a quick overview of what it's about, what you could do, and what it looks like. So let's take a look. So for starters, I just want to show off the movement of the game and maybe different menu options that you have in this game. Give you a small example of what the game looks like aesthetically and stuff like that. So here we go. So it's a JRPG. It is open world. I haven't gotten too far into the game, but there do seem to be slight limitations as to where you go. However, I presume that the further you get in the story, the more access you'll have to certain areas, and it won't drag you so much into the linear story. But however, in the beginning of the game, it does. So here, I'm using Luffy. You could run around. You could collect objects. There's things that you'll find around the world. There will also be viewpoints such as these. I don't know what this does. It just seems to be different facts that you can find. They kind of point out certain things. A lot of them are optional places to go, things to do, stuff like that. Maybe something to collect. But I'm using Luffy. You can use the directional pads. You gain access to the Straw Hats pretty early in the game. The only one I'm missing right now is Brook. So, but you do get them at the same time, mostly. I'm using Luffy right now. You can switch to anyone as the character that you are using. And right now I'll switch to Zoro. He's a fan favorite, right? So you'll see sometimes you have to switch characters to maybe cut things, or Luffy breaks rocks. I presume that Usopp, maybe there's some targets that you have to hit with his slingshot. I'm not sure, but yeah. So this is one aspect of the game. Yes. This game does play like some of the older Final Fantasy games that I remember. More like, or I guess Dragon Quest would be a better example. But like the enemies here, he will not attack you. You can't attack just like this. See, there's no way to jump or whatever like that. So I will run into him and a battle will start. But I will show the battle mechanics later in this video. So, as for the menu options, you have your map. You have your equipment that you can give him. You get these badges to increases your HP and your defense and stuff like that. There are also things like this little marble looking thing. So if you see on the left where you see Luffy and this little dot here, and I'll show you a better example. As you can see all the badges here that they have, it takes up the whole thing. These have nothing, but Chopper has this marble and it only takes up a quarter of the square. So I presume there are other items in the game that you could combine with. As for the badges that you see here, take up the whole square, so you can't add anything. As I said before, I am not very far in the game, so maybe there are abilities and ways to unlock as you level up in the game to add more or stack them on top. I am not sure. You have your crew with all their stats. You could go through the information. This is a JRPG. You level up, you gain experience, attack points, health points, etc. Very resistant to, it tells you the attack types of each character. It tells you what they are resistant to. So it plays like, I always compare these type of games to Fire Emblem. Also another game that I absolutely love, actually series really. This is your map. As you continue through the game, you unlock the map. So far, I have noticed that it's pretty easy to traverse through the world, and it's been an experience. However, I do think this game looks absolutely gorgeous. The PS5, it does well. The PS5, I'm really enjoying it so far. They're not perfect. I know a lot of people don't like the animations, but I happen to like them. They're a little, it's an anime type game. It's not supposed to be realistic, so it's very bright. I think that they're very, they're very nice. So we'll see in the future. All right, so on to the battling. Always the most fun component of the game, I think. Anyway, the most interesting anyway. So, just like any turn-based games, most of the time that I can remember, you have a party of at least 3 or 4. So in this game, a full party is 4 characters, and the mechanics in this one are a little different. There's probably bits and pieces of it that are similar to other games, obviously. But I happen to really like this one in this game. I think it's a little different. It's got a bit of a different feel to it, and it's fun. So you get a party of 4. I have Zoro, Luffy, Usopp, and Nami. If you note, though, if you look over to the left, you'll notice that Luffy and Zoro don't have the 2 little arrows that can move. And what that means is, if you notice that Luffy has 1 enemy in front of him and Zoro has 3, and they can't move from that battle. So you basically cannot move your character whatsoever if you have an enemy in front of you, but you can move with Nami and Usopp, and you could go to aid that character fighting X amount of enemies, however they are. Obviously, Zoro might need a little more help than Luffy, and you can also go. You could kind of change the battle formation of who goes next whenever you want. So up there in the right-hand corner, you'll see that it says Battle Turn 1. So what that means is that I will go in one move, no matter who I attack with, the enemy will go. But there is a way to counter that. So if we go over to Luffy, if you see the little enemy right next to his icon on the left hand side is glowing, you will see that it's kind of glowing with that little arrows kind of vibrating and kind of pulsing in the little circles. That means he's going next. So in one move, this enemy will attack next. So if we KO this enemy, it will kind of reset, and the next it'll show you the next enemy going, and so on. So we're going to try to kill him in one shot. I think an attack will kill him in one try. I don't really know. They don't really tell you the levels of anybody on the battlefield. It's something that I think that they could maybe change. You don't really know how strong they are. You know how strong your characters are, but you don't know what the enemy is, so you don't know what's going to do. So we're going to just see what happens with one attack, and we'll try it after that. So Luffy's going to attack. You can pick your thing as long as you want to go. So he did KO him in one try. So now it's battle turn again. Now when we go over to Zoro, and you hit attack, you could go through A, C, and B. So if you go over to Issa A, you will see that he's going to attack next. Again, I think we can KO him in one try. And now Luffy could also move between. Luffy can also move to help Zoro in the next ones, as can Usopp and Nami. But I don't know if Zoro can do it, but we're going to try. So another mechanic of the battling system is skills and items. So when you go to items, there's buffs. I don't have any buffs, but there are different items that will give you different kind of buffs. Oh, actually, I do have buffs. I lied to you. Okay, never mind. Trick balls, I don't have. So, like the bat soup and the banana gator pie, this gives me heals 50% or increases all allies' defense and stuff like that. But those are not important right now. It's just like any JRPG, you have items that either heal you or give you buffs. But on the skill side, and I'm going to just use Zoro as an example because Zoro is probably my next strongest character next to Luffy. So if you go to skills, I have Onigiri and Dragon Twister. And Onigiri is a close range attack, and it only attacks one person. So if you see right under effect target and next to here, next to Dragon Twister, you can see the little image there. There's 3 guys in there. So we're going to try to KO all of them at the same time. And it's very interesting because there's also a attack and element type chart that will tell you who is strong against what, and it will also tell you that's what the power symbols are for next to the health bars with the arrows. The other thing I want to talk to before I do that is that when you go to skills, you will notice that it says, where it says Onigiri, on the right side of that bar it says 12, and next to Dragon Twister it says 30, and that is your TP. So that is like your what would be your magic or your like ability type power. So if you look at any of the characters on the left hand side, you will see the initials TP. I actually don't know what that stands for. I didn't really look into it. Zoro's is 227. So if I use Dragon Twister, it will go down to 197. So we're gonna try to KO him in one try, and we'll see what happens. I don't know if it'll kill them or not, so we're gonna just see what happens. So Dragon Twister, as you could tell, so this is another way you could tell. Some of them are not very clear in the descriptions, but you could attack all 3. You will notice the three diamonds kind of saying that they're going to hit all of them. So if you do Dragon Twister, Zoro's so cool. All his animations are awesome. So it did KO all 3 of them. So that is pretty cool. So you will gain money to buy things, of course, experience points and items. And just like any other game, you level up, and all of your HP, attack, defense, and TP overalls will increase. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, I know the battle ended. Before we do that, is that all characters in your party gain experience points simultaneously, no matter who you are using. So it does not matter if you go to your crew, and I am using Luffy, Zoro, Nami, and Usopp. Sanji, Chopper, and Robin will also gain experience points. The same amount of, I think it's the same amount of experience points at the same time, and everyone kind of levels up at the same time. So it's a big plus. It makes the game a lot easier, because if I use these and then you get to the end game, you can never switch characters. So I love this. I wish more games would adopt this, because it's helpful, and I think it's kind of unfair when games disregard the party members that you are not using. So I like that feature, and hopefully more games follow suit. Alright guys, that is all I have on One Piece Odyssey for now. Like I said, I've really been enjoying this game. It's a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of One Piece. I'm a big fan of anime, so it's kind of selling me just to kind of relive the stories of the Straw Hats. Is fun to me, even though it's got its own twist on it. Obviously, it's not part of the main story, but you know, these types of games, I know they're under fire a lot of the times because they're not always so great, but you know what? I don't care. I love these games. They're a lot of fun. I was really looking forward to this since they announced it. So that's really all I got for now. I may do a follow-up review at the end of the game after I beat it to kind of go over anything that I didn't get up to yet, or if I missed anything. So we might do more of these in the future. So that's all I have for you guys today. We might be doing more of these in the future, like I said. And please remember to like, comment, subscribe. It definitely helps the channel. And if there's anything you guys want me to go over, or maybe another game, anime game, you want to just talk anime, or you have questions about the game, I will be happy to answer them in the comments. So love you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.